We are the #1 channel for NBA 2K tips and tricks, tutorials, and how-tos. For more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a like on this video. Let's get into it. In this video today, guys, we are going to be looking at the best settings in NBA 2K23. Best controller settings, best general settings, best settings for your MyPlayer, and all of that. So stay tuned, guys, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let's get into it. So our first setting is game difficulty, guys. This is all personal preference on this. Really, you can play with whatever you feel most comfortable with playing. You can do rookie. Semi-pro is a new setting in NBA 2K23. They have pro, all-star, superstar, and Hall of Fame. Don't let people scare you away. Hall of Fame is not very difficult if you actually know how to play the game. If you're new at the game, I would say play on pro. Don't play on rookie or semi-pro because those are just way too easy and you're not going to learn anything playing on those. Pro and all-star if you're new on the game, and then if you feel more advanced, I would go superstar or Hall of Fame. On-court shot clock is where the shot clock will appear on the court in the middle of the free throw line when there's 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Kind of like how on NBA on TNT is, the shot clock displays on this court. Shot feedback, guys. You want to have shot feedback on all shots, no matter what. That way, especially if you're learning the game and you're learning how the new shot system and the new contest system is, all shot feedbacks is going to tell you each time you take a shot if it was slightly early, slightly late, and when you're in an actual real game, it's going to tell you how contested the shot was. I keep that on all shots no matter what. I'll kind of give you an example right here. I'm going to shoot a 3, and shot feedback is there at the very top. It says my timing was slightly late, and then when I'm actually being contested, it's going to tell me how contested the shot was. See, there was an excellent release and another excellent release. Back to our settings now. Camera shake is pretty much when you're doing a free throws at an away game. They can shake the camera when you're doing the free throws to kind of throw you off your release a little bit. I keep it on just for the realistic setting, personal preference. Arena photo strobe flashes. These are just, pretty much they're taking pictures of you in the arena. The cameras will flash in the crowd and in the media boxes and all that. If you don't want the flashes, if it throws you off, turn them off. If you like the flashes, it makes you feel like you're a superstar, then leave them on. I like leaving them on. It makes me feel cool. Ball handler text. This is what appears underneath the person with the ball in their hands. You got name, number, and position, or none. I normally keep mine on name and position. So, for instance, when Garland has the ball, it's not going to say it in here. It's just going to say Garland, and it's going to say point guard. That way I can tell who is in at what position normally. Pick and roll overlay is when you call for a pick and it'll have an overlay over the person that's coming to set the pick. It'll have an overlay over their head as they're moving towards you, and it will say roll, it will say fade, and you can choose which side that you want them on. So normally I keep that on just so I can make sure that I know if I'm doing a roll or a fade. Motion blur, guys, you want to have that to a 0. Basically, when you're moving fast through the game, scenes are moving very quickly. There's a lot of motion, I guess you could say. The game kind of blurs it out as if you were running really fast and you can't see nothing. Keep that off. It's going to make the game look a lot better. Short press and hold. Shortens the length of the press and hold feature. So basically, if it's telling you to press and hold something, say you wanted to delete one of your builds, and it's going to make you press A to delete it, and then it's going to make you press and hold A again to confirm you want to delete it. This will basically just make it shorter. It's kind of a useless setting, really. Audio presentation, I go on default. You can have sound effects and player chatter volume. That's the player chatter on the court, so they just be saying random things like screen. They be calling out screens, or they'd be saying don't let Garland shoot or something like that. You can turn that up if you want to hear the players more. And sound effects is the in-game sound effects. So the ball dribbling, the shoe squeaking, the ball hitting the rim. Actually, it's not the crowd. Now, guys, we are going to get into our controller settings. So vibration, personal preference. I like vibration on. just because it feels like, you know, every time the ball dribbles, you get a little vibration. I kind of like that. Shot meter, guys. This is an important one here. Leave it off. Don't use the shot meter. I mean, it's really personal preference. But if you're new to the game, personally, shot meter being off, you have a bigger green window. So meaning that it's a little bit easier to time your shots. Really, guys, just make sure you have that shot feedback on and see how it's excellent. You just learn the flow and the rhythm of the shot. Some shots I can, you know, green better off of a dribble move. Say I'm coming in, I'm dribbling, pulling up, I can green it better, even though I didn't green that one. Some shots, you know, you can green better off of a catch. So if I'm running over here, catch, pull up, it's all in the motion of things, how you learn your jump shot. So I gotta learn Darius Garland's jump shot. He has a new jump shot this year. He has his actual jump shot this year, so I'm trying to learn that one. Shot timing. This is pretty much what shot timing is used for. So I have it on jump shots only. You can have it on layups only, where you have to time your layups. You can have it on real player percentage, meaning you don't really have to time your shot. It's basically going to go off of the player's percentage of how well they shoot. Shots and layups, so you could time your shots and layups, or shots only. And that's what I have it on. Real player percentage cannot be used online. It's only for offline gaming. I would just recommend having it on shots only. So we got the shot timing release time here, guys. You can have late, you can have very late, you can have very early, or you can have early. I keep mine on late. A lot of people say keep it on early. Really, what you need to do is just find what works best for you. I found myself being slightly late on a lot of jump shots because the jump shots are a little bit different in 2K23, and I kept seeing myself being late on the release. So I changed it to late, and now I'm greening a lot more shots. So if you find yourself shooting a lot of slightly earlies, I would change it to early, so that way you can green more shots. Because what it does, it's your shot time and release time. So the jump shot doesn't change, but it's when you release your shot button. Okay, so if you have it on early, you use X, and the shot button is going to release a lot earlier. Perfect release. Say your preferred perfect release. So when you green a shot, it'll have a flame. You can have a ball. There's going to be more that get released. Basically, it's the little green animation that's at the top of their head. As you can see, there's a flame right there on top of Darius Garland's head. Perfect release sound. So this is the sound that plays when you do a perfect release. I normally have mine on Money Machine. I'm not sure why it was on Bucket. So I'm going to put mine back on Money Machine and give you guys a little example of that. Let me go ahead and turn the volume up here. Oh, I didn't even green it. Well, that's not the one I normally have. I have the one that says cha-ching, but that one is not it. So I'm going to have to find that one out. Shot meter type. This is if you do use a shot meter. There's a bunch of different shot meters in the game. I find the curve bar to be my favorite one. Even though I don't use shot meter, I did at first to try to figure out the shots a little bit more. But it's all personal preference. Player indicator. I have a circle under my player, and it's red. It's just what's under the player when you're controlling them, really. Free throw timing is user timing. You can do real player percentage as well. I do user timing because even if you have a terrible free throw shooter and you use real player percentage, they're not going to make no free throws. If you use user timing, you can still sometimes time them free throws with terrible free throw shooters, and you can still get those green free throw releases. Pro stick function, guys, you want to have that on default. Pro stick orientation on absolute for both off-ball offense and pro stick orientation. Help defense button function is call for help or double team. So the help defense button is the left bumper. So when you're on defense, especially in MyCareer, say you're a point guard and you have a big man like a center posting you up. You hold down LB and it's going to make someone come and help you. Either they'll double team the player or they'll come and help. So you'll either switch or they'll kind of scare the player into making a pass. I usually have it on call for help because I don't want to just double team and that just leaves the person that comes helps, they just leave somebody wide open, and I do not want that. So I just call for help for a quick help there. Call for pick and roll versus fade. I keep mine on manual, and when on offense, same thing. If you hold down LB, your nearest big man is going to come and set a pick. They'll either roll or they'll either fade. It depends on how long you hold the button for. If you hold it shorter, it's just pick and roll. If you hold it longer, it's going to be a pick and fade. player icon. So this is when you use the icon passing, which if you guys don't know what that is, go ahead and check out my passing tutorial on my channel. But basically you press RB and icons will pop up above the players' heads, and you press that specific button to pass it to that specific player. I keep them on because I want to see. Skip pass, icon lead passing, and pro stick pass type. That's all something you guys really I would have to get in depth with, but it's on my passing tutorial if you want to check that out. Pro stick defense is absolute. Basically, the pro stick is the right stick. You can use it to contest shots with and stuff like that. Pretty much you just hold the right stick up or left and right. It will make you stick your arms out side to side. It will make you stick your arms straight up if you hold it up. I keep mine on absolute. Shading indicator is on. Shading is when you try to send a ball handler either left or right. I keep it on. It indicates which side you're shading the player to. Who to guard is on. This is a little arrow that is underneath your player, and when you're on defense it'll point to who you're supposed to be defending. Now you can turn it off, and I say if you're playing with people that you know, if you're playing like threes, like a squad game or something online, I would say keep it off. That way you guys can switch, because it's kind of confusing when your arrow is pointing towards somebody and your teammate wants to switch with you, but that arrow keeps pointing to it. It's something you have to learn really, but I keep mine on for now. Defensive assist strength determines the effectiveness of the AI defensive movement assistance. I turn that all the way down. Basically, they will help a lot more if it's on, or they'll leave their man, and I don't like that, so I'm gonna keep mine on 0. Box out assist strength, guys, I keep mine at 50 because I really honestly don't know what it does. I mean, I've put it down, I've put it up, nothing really changes for me, so I just keep it at 50. Pass target profile, all again personal preference. I see people, they want openness. So basically when you press the pass button, when you press A, if you have more on openness, it's gonna pass it to the most open player. Whoever the game thinks is most open is gonna pass it to them. If you have pass target distance all the way up, it's gonna pass whoever is closest to you. And if you have pass target direction, whichever direction you're pointing that left stick is where it's gonna pass the ball. I normally keep it on direction. That could, it's all personal preference. I like mine on direction. I like to use the left stick. There is a great setting though that I seen someone talk about, and so what I'm hearing people say is to go with 38, and 24. And that's what everyone says is the best, perfectly balanced pass settings. So I'm gonna try that out, but either do that or just pick whatever you think is most comfortable with you. Alright guys, now we're going to get into quick MyCareer settings. Game difficulty, I have mine at all-star because I'm on my no money spent MyCareer, and he's only a 64 overall, so I need as much help as I can get at this point. Quarter length, this is personal preference as well. You can go 12 minutes, you can go 5 minutes. I like mine at 10 minutes because I think 12 minutes is just a hair too long, and I think 5 minutes is too short. I think 9 minutes is too short. I think 10 minutes is just right. It just depends on what you're really doing on MyCareer. If you enjoy playing MyCareer, I'd say 10 minutes. If you're doing it just to get badges, you can do 5 minutes. You can do 12 minutes. There's no in between really. Secondary nickname, that is just whatever you want your MyPlayer to be called. I just keep mine on MP for MyPlayer. Social media handle, basically their in-game social media feature. You can choose your handle, and I don't know why I didn't change mine yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it to RDK. Jersey number, you can change your jersey number to whatever you want. MyPlayer trade value is normal, so control how much MyPlayer's current team is willing to accept in return for MyPlayer to trade. So you can do high, and basically if you want to get traded and you pick a team, if you pick high, it's going to trade another player that's basically your overall, around your overall. So say you're a 95 overall and you want to go to the Lakers or something. They might trade Anthony Davis for you. So I would keep this on normal. So because if you want to go to a team, you probably want to play with that superstar that is there. So if you go to the Lakers and you want to play with Anthony Davis, make sure you keep it on normal. So even though if you're a 95 and you go to the Lakers, they're going to trade someone like Lonnie Walker for you or something like that. On-court shot clock, we already went through that. We already went through shot feedback. Make sure it's on all shots. Camera shake is on. Gameplay indicators is on. Action replays. This is basically if you do a highlight play and they'll basically do a little transition. They'll show you a replay. I have it on occasionally because if you have it on often, I swear every time you do a simple dunk, it's going to play a replay. Sometimes that gets old. I like mine on occasionally. Highlight play camera cuts. Basically, when you shoot a green 3 or you do a crazy dunk, it's going to change the camera. It's going to like, I can't explain it, but basically, I know you guys have greened a shot and you see like the camera zoom in on the ball and it goes through the ring. Or if you do a fancy dunk, it kind of zooms in on your player as they do the dunk. I like to keep it on. It gives a different type of, vibe to the game. After basket camera cuts. So basically, if somebody does a shot and they make it, the camera will do a close-up on them as they run back up the court or something like that. Don't have it on often, guys. Really don't. They'll do it after each bucket, and that is what gets annoying because sometimes it's difficult if you want to quickly inbound the ball or something like that. Keep it on occasionally or keep it off. I would say occasionally or off. I like mine on occasionally since I do make my career content. I like to have those extra camera angles like that. We already did the arena photo strobe. Ball handler text, we already went through that. Pick and roll overlays on. Scene subtitles, basically the cut scenes will have subtitles or not. It's up to you. I like mine off. Motion blur is at 0, like I said. Short press and hold, we already went through that one. Audio presentation is custom, like I said. You can do whatever you want. My PA volume's on 0 because the park plays music and I do not want to get copyrighted. So I keep mine on 0. That looks like that's all for the settings. I don't think controller settings are different at all. Go ahead and double check real quick. I think everything's pretty much the same here on the controller settings as we already went through. You can go through the coach settings. Adaptive coaching engine. Determine if you would like to game plan on your own or let the CPU do it for you. I basically let the CPU game plan on my own. Play vision, user plays only, full. This is when you call a play. It'll give you where to go on the court and stuff like that. Offensive play calling is on manual. If you have it to auto, basically the coach will call a play every time you come down the court. I like to just come down and do simple pick and rolls and stuff like that, so I keep mine on manual. Defensive play calling as well as on manual. Team communication, keep it on for offense and defense. It'll basically tell you if your teammate is wanting you to switch or something like that. A little text will pop up above their head. Freelance series order. Freelance, I'm not exactly sure what this does. I've always had mine static and repeat on success. So basically, I think if you run a play and it's working, it's going to keep running that same play. I couldn't tell you what series order means. I'm sorry for that, guys. But guys, that is all I got for you in today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And that is all I got for y'all, man. I'm out. Peace.